AFC. It's been the Patriots for so long. Now it's coming in here.
Onside kick to start it. And the Jags have recovered, I believe.
Of course, as we're talking, you don't get it. This is amazing. What a call.
Riley Patterson, the kicker, executing it to perfection, and he recovered it as well. 3rd and 9. Well protected and is batted at the line.
Him and Hutchinson, and I think they're really happy with who they got. You see him right there. He's got long arms. He's that explosive, athletic, and big.
3rd and 8. Can they get the Chiefs off the field? Mahomes going to work the legs again, just like he did last Sunday night. And he picks up the first down.
Go, go.
Rolling out. Now he flings it wide open. Several ailments. But he's a game day active. 3rd and 8. Found him. Smith-Schuster at the 12. Not going to drop it this time. Marked at the 13. Pacheco. Lost the football. And out with it is Jacksonville. It's Devin Lloyd, the rookie out of Utah. And a red zone takeaway. Goes back a couple of seasons. They get one right here.
But Jenkins comes flying in and delivers the hit. Number 2 is safety, and then Lloyd right here.
29th pick in the first round with the recovery on first down play action. Planting the feet and firing. And this time it's held on to by Kirk. It wasn't touched until now. And 3rd and 2 as Lawrence sees Chris Jones waiting for him and cuts it back inside, and that's closed in a hurry by Willie Gay. And of course, Doug Peterson was on the staff there. Here's the run by Pacheco, and slipping through, mark it at the 33. Mahomes finds an open target. Who else? Kelsey, 40, 30, near the 20, and out of bounds.
The problem is now you're doing it, you're running into Patrick Mahomes, who's going to move you with his eyes.
Here's another great run. Pacheco butts heads near the 6. Now coming in motion. And on 1st and goal, it's over to Tony, and he tiptoes in tight ropes for a touchdown. His first NFL touchdown.
First touchdown, and they get him in a trade. They gave up a 3rd and a 6th. They don't get in these 3rd and shorts. Last week, they had like 13 under 3rd and 5.
2nd and 7, coming after. Lawrence spins away. And he's able to get back out to the 37. Agnew comes in for the Jags offense. And a slot to the left. More pressure. Another sack. Dunlap had him down low. And Jones up top. They'll split that one, I believe. Gonna move Juju over to that right side. And he's open. Smith-Schuster has the first down.
Patrick Mahomes last year, 52%, like the highest ever in the NFL. And now this year, they're threatening it again.
You get that kind of time, things can happen. Jags say incomplete, 51.5 per punt. Had 2 great punters here today. This one, not his best. Coming up the field to the 27, and now taken off up the middle. What a run.
To the next guy, to the next guy, to the next guy, very quickly.
They have not converted on 3rd down so far. 3rd and 11 to go screen here. Etienne's going to get a first down. And look at him go all the way to the 31, running behind.
Pretend like no one's coming, and then all of a sudden someone comes flying in.
Here's Lawrence trying to get the ball out and then secures it instead because they got 2 on the play clock.
Not much this year. I mean, they
12 times.
Yeah.
Second fewest in the league, and that's dropped by Hasty.
Etienne back in.
Patterson from 51 yards. The season long's 52. Hold on. Nope. Sunny skies over Kansas City. Chiefs' best start point, 41-yard line. Up 7-0. Tony gets the handoff. And Tony runs it for about 30. Best in the league, Kansas City, on plays of 20+. There's another one added to the list.
Didn't you think that would change once Tyreek left? You didn't.
It hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
There's Pacheco.
This front is for real on Chiefs' side. I like this offensive line.
Mahomes throws, end zone, touchdown, Kansas City. Valdez-Scantling has his first touchdown reception as a Chief.
I think, and so it's a matter of whether they can keep him.
First down, quick pass to Kirk. Sidesteps one defender and able to take off. 3rd and 4. Just snapping a 5-game losing streak last week with the 17-point comeback win against the Raiders. And they make the move to get the first. Ingram's close to it. I think he's going to be a half yard short. The penalty call was holding, defensive holding.
Wow.
How about that? To Tony. Slips right through that tackle.
Wow, you're seeing
look at him go.
You got to be excited as a Chiefs fan right now, Jim. You just saw why you went out and got this guy.
So when he had 4 in one game, Zay Jones has come up big on a couple of these crucial situations. Lawrence is looking his way. He's going deep for Jones. Oh, and it's in and out of his hands. No flag. McDuffie with the coverage.
So many great coaches have come under Andy Reid. Doug Peterson, obviously, another one in a long line.
Dumped it. Kelsey.
Juju's come on, though. He's starting to do similar things like that where he has some wiggle room to do that in the offense.
Speaking of wiggle, Tony, there's Pacheco.
Comes in. That's a very physical team.
3rd and 4. He's got time. Does he have anybody open? He's going to circle back around. Now he can do it, and he finds, what a catch.
Mahomes has 3 touchdowns in 41 of 82 career starts, including postseason.
That's crazy.
So you talk about the yards, now you throw the touchdowns in.
2nd and 9. Does a great job of avoiding a sack.
No.
Got picked by Cisco. Wow. With 7:55 to go.
Obviously the right decision, I think, to go for this.
Open. Zay Jones holds on after the powerful hit by Thornhill, where they haven't made the most of it today. Lawrence to the end zone, and Kirk holds on for the touchdown.
That's the guy right there. They struggle a little bit against a number 1 receiver, a guy inside slot.
Try to get him to jump. They didn't do it. Meanwhile, trying to go long. Valdez-Scantling. What a turnaround catch.
Wow.
That was magnificent.
It was 3.
They go for it on 4th down. Look at this. Kelsey fights through the tackle. Muma couldn't hold on to him, and that will pretty much ice it. And Mahomes, more monster numbers.
He's in this prime right now, Jim. Going to be hard to take this guy. There's some great quarterback play in this league. Trevor Lawrence, you'll be there too.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media, with my friend James Howell. This is another episode of the Arrowhead Asylum. James, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It was a perfect weekend to be a Chiefs fan, you know. Chiefs win, Broncos lose, Chargers lose, Raiders lose, Buffalo loses. I couldn't ask for more. Couldn't ask for more being a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Chiefs have now put themselves in the clear number 1 spot to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. You know, granted, you know, there's still a little bit of football left to play, but as it looks right now, man, the AFC runs through Arrowhead.
A couple of shows ago, we were going over the schedule, and I know that we were trying to be like homers, and we were like, I don't think they lose, or I don't think they win every game, and we were trying to pick one game in there that they. I don't know, man. I don't think that they lose. You know, I said Cincinnati. They could possibly lose that Cincinnati game. Now that they've got that number one spot, and they control their own destiny, so to speak. I don't know if they lose another game this year.
I'll tell you what, man. Since we're in it, let's take a look here. So we've got the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday Night Football, and we'll get into that game. Then they've got the Rams, and then they've got the Bengals. They've got the Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos again, and then the Raiders again. I think the Seahawks could give us some trouble. Bengals, maybe. Rams, maybe. But
the Rams just lost Cooper Kupp for several weeks.
Yeah, I know. My fantasy team just felt. My fantasy team just had to relive that all over again. So
yeah, I felt that hit, did it?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we'll kind of get into it, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of right there with you again. I feel like this team, they're past the bye. Mahomes is firing on all cylinders. The defense is starting to come together. That pass rush, all these things we're going to talk about tonight. But I really feel like there is a huge possibility that this team could run the table. Like I said, man, we'll kind of get into it.
100%.
Absolutely, guys. If you're watching, we appreciate you sticking with us while we got all that stuff taken care of, technical difficulties and everything. I wanted to put on the game highlights for you, so you guys all had something to watch while you waited. I appreciate you waiting patiently. But we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch.tv/CRmedia1988. So if you haven't already, guys, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never ever miss anything from us. James, tell everybody where they can find you on social media real quick.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me at Arrowhead Asylum. You could contact me directly. It's at Arrowhead Asylum, or on Twitter. It's at James Howe1. And that's the best way to get a hold of me, is either on Facebook at Arrowhead Asylum or at Twitter at James Howe1.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna kind of go through mine as well. The tagline is right there at the bottom of the screen at CR Media 1988, guys. You're gonna find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, all of the above. We're also live on Sports Empire Network, Sports Empire social medias. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and we're growing immensely over there. So we're taking over the sports world. So definitely make sure you check out Sports Empire Network.
Yeah, how's the TikTok progress coming along?
For myself or for Sports Empire?
For you. I know you were getting close to 1,000.
Oh, I've gone past 1,000.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I knew it was only a matter of time. So that's great news.
Absolutely.
Now you can truly saturate the market.
That is correct, sir. Absolutely. So I started doing this thing, Draven verse. Donnie, what's up, brother? He says, let's go. So started promoting Super Draft Pro again. Wanted to, it's football season. It's fantasy football, daily fantasy sports. We talked about it a little last weekend. Ty and I, kind of opened up that box a little bit. Wanted to talk about it again. Wanted to play the ad, and then we're going to get into the recap of this game, guys. So again, if you guys are not familiar with Super Draft Pro, check out the ad and make sure you hit the link in the description for any of your Super Draft Pro if that's something you're interested in. So here we go.
Pro athletes have the dream job. They get paid to play games. The connection to sports and our fandom brings communities together. We see the business of sports as limitless. We all watch it or know someone who does. And now it's time for you to cash in on your sports IQ and get paid to play. These aren't just any kind of games. Play on SuperDraft, the official fantasy partner of Caesars. Compete in exciting fantasy sports and free sports betting contests by subscribing to a plan with SuperDraft Pro. Play for the love of the game and experience the most entertaining way to follow the sports you love. These mobile apps are live right now on iOS and Android. This rare opportunity is a massive game changer. You get to be an early adopter in a multi-billion-dollar global industry. So you're asking, how do I get started? We've made it simple. Sign up to be a coach, then build your team and offer a range of subscription packages to access games to play. So, now that you're aware of SuperDraft Pro, can you build a street team of players and coaches who can cash in on playing games, getting others to play games, and playing games with them? Welcome to the future of sports fandom.
All right, guys. Again, that was Super Draft Pro. Again, that was Super Draft Pro, guys. Make sure you go check that out, and make sure
Go
you
check it out, guys. It's a ton of fun. If you like fantasy sports and you're into that daily fantasy football or baseball, basketball, I know I do both football and basketball. I'm big into fantasy sports. I have a blast. On Super Draft Pro, and it's really, really fun. It's super, super cheap. $20 can get you your monthly subscription, and you play as many games as they have available there for you, and it's a way better bang for your buck. So go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys there.
Absolutely. So, the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Chiefs win.
Gonna beat them up, bro.
Chiefs win 27-17, as we kind of saw in that video, and kind of just breaking down this game a little bit, man. James, there's quite a bit of stuff I wanted to talk about. What about the defense, though?
God. Again, man. So we've seen it a little bit in the second half of the Titans game, where the defense, really stepped up and kept us in that Titans game. And I was like, okay, that's a good start. But now we've seen it again during this Jacksonville game. And now it seems like this defense is really starting to come together. I really contributed to the pass rush over the past 3 weeks. They've had like 13 sacks or 13 QB hurries, I think is what it was, compared to 13 the previous 6 weeks. They've really started to pick it up, and yeah, man, damn, they look good. They Furious George. He's out there getting his hands up, and he's doing his thing. And really, that whole defensive line, Carlos Dunlop, congratulations to him. 100 sacks for his career. That was pretty cool to be able to recognize that milestone for him. But yeah, I think this defensive line is really stepping it up and is taking this defense to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of core, a lot of young core guys there, as far as George Karlaftis, Leo Chanel, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, kind of right there in the linebacker core that kind of helps out the front four, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Colin Saunders.
Oh, my gosh.
Again. Yeah. I watched Colin Saunders run with a defender. Run with the running back up the sideline. Absolutely insane.
Yep.
Jacob Kingdom says, I like Nick Bolton. You're not going to get much of an argument from us, Jacob. Absolutely love Nick Bolton. I'm a stickler about my Chiefs jerseys, about who I'll buy. Because I'm not spending $100+ on a jersey on a guy who's going to be here 3 or 4 years. So that's why I bought a Patrick Mahomes jersey, which is the first jersey I've bought since Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not a big fan of spending $100+ on a piece of clothing for somebody who's not going to be with my team very long. But I've got a Nick Bolton jersey coming through. So, especially now that he switched back to he switched to 32.
And that's a good pickup there, Nick Bolton. I also want a Creed Humphrey jersey, for the same reasonings as I also don't want to spend a bunch of money on a jersey for a guy that's not going to be here. Creed Humphrey's going to be here. Nick Bolton's going to be here.
Absolutely. So, just the way that defensive line and that pass rush has stepped up the past few weeks. Like I said, all the notable names, all the rookies, but then like some names that aren't noticeable. Colin Saunders, guys like that are really stepping up. Like I said, it's a great time to do so, man, because it's November and December. Like, this is where it's gonna get decided, home field advantage and stuff like that. So for the defense to be able to back up, what the offense is doing, and we're gonna get into that, man, because the offense, Kadarius Toney making an impact already.
Let me just say this:
we made this trade,
Tyreek.
When we made this trade, I was like, a 3rd round pick for a guy who hasn't played, who's unproductive, who like has no resume whatsoever. I was like, okay, he's a quick guy. Cool. But we gave up a 3rd and a 6th round pick for this guy. Like, what is going on? And then boom. I watched his route running the first week in the couple plays that he had. It was good. I was like, man, that could be something. That's nice. That could be something. And then this week, he comes out and he's proving to be worth the 3rd round pick. After having a small role in the Titans game, he comes up big in this game. 4 receptions, 57 yards, and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he is he is look who rears rears their massive fandom for Mecole Hardman. But yeah. And then Isaiah Pacheco, he's putting himself out there more, solidifying his role in this offense. 16 carries, 82 yards. I mean, for a 7th round pick, dude, I can't keep like harping on how awesome Isaiah Pacheco is to be a 7th round pick.
It seems like Clyde is an afterthought now.
But does it? I mean, with the which is crazy because like I don't really think that Clyde ever looked at Derek Gore, Darrell Williams, Jared McKinnon.
Yeah.
I don't really think he ever looked at those guys as competition. But man, since Isaiah Pacheco has stepped up, I mean, you've seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, granted, I think against the Titans, the run was little to not there. And the Titans defense was good. They were shutting down the run. But I mean, like I said, prior to that, Clyde has shown a lot of great improvement this year. And then, like I said, Isaiah Pacheco stepping up, doing what needs to be done. Kyle Edwards says the Chiefs look like they will be able to unlock the potential in Toney that the Giants couldn't. Yeah, man,
It's about the quarterback.
Like I said, I'm growing to be a big Kadarius Toney fan. But there is just something odd to me that the guy doesn't want to play. He's constantly hurt. He was hurt when we made the trade for him, according to the injury report. And then as soon as he officially becomes a member of the Chiefs roster, all of a sudden he's ready to go. And like I said, I just find that weird. I like the kid. I think he's talented, but for me, that says to me that I didn't want to play for New York. Now, granted, I mean, maybe I'm looking too far into it, but like I said, it just seems weird to me that he's, hurt, can't play. I mean, he played 2 snaps this season before we traded for him. So,
For sure.
like I said, I don't know. Kyle also says he's not a part of Chiefs Kingdom. He's a Patriots fan, but he respects Andy Reid and the Chiefs. We appreciate that, Kyle. Like I said, we welcome people from all backgrounds on this show, except for Raiders fans. If you're a Raiders fan, you can kick rocks with no socks, pound sand.
You're more than welcome to come into the show, but I'm not going to guarantee as a Raiders fan you're going to have the best time.
Yeah.
We might.
Yeah, exactly. Raiders fans come in here and we'll put it on Pornhub. 2 Chiefs fans take a shit on Raiders fan.
Yeah,
and enjoy it. But so Patrick Mahomes in this game shared the love. I know when I mentioned Kadarius Toney, you said Tyreek who. Now, all jokes aside, I've gone on record several times this year stating that Tyreek Hill is an elite wide receiver. Because he can go from, he looked great with Alex Smith. He looked phenomenal with Patrick Mahomes, and he's looking really great right now with Tua. So, I'm not going to take anything away from Tyreek Hill. But like I said, phenomenal with Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
So you put, Patrick Mahomes, and like I said, I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. Tyreek Hill was the crutch, was the bar lock on Patrick Mahomes because if it made Patrick Mahomes comfortable enough to say, F it, Tyreek's down there somewhere.
Yep.
Right? Now Mahomes is unlocking more potential, making more plays, doing more things out on that field by spreading the ball around. So much so, we had 4 different people catching touchdown passes. Travis Kelce, MVS, Kadarius Toney, and Noah Gray. 4 different weapons.
Noah Gray is having a great couple of weeks too.
He is. And good for those guys. Good for that young core. Good for that young core of guys that they have backing up Travis Kelce. Your boy Jody Fortson, Noah Gray. Both of those guys. And it's crazy because like every single time I'm like, oh, Noah's out of the picture and Jody Fortson's in there catching passes and doing great things. Then like the next week, it's like Jody Fortson's on the bench and Noah Gray comes in and starts catching passes. Like I said, you're watching Mahomes close the gap and close the argument about who the best quarterback in the league is right now because of the fact that Mahomes is spreading the ball around to not just Travis Kelce, but to, Noah Gray, MVS, Kadarius Toney. That this game was fantastic. One of the things I do want to say, my good friend, the real Josh Elliott, comes in here and says, there's always next year, guys. That's what I always say. He's a Jaguars fan. For those watching that aren't familiar. Hey,
I believed in the Jaguars at the beginning of the year. I really did. I thought, remember I told you I went on record and I said that they were going to win the AFC South? That was one of the worst takes I've had all year long. But
Well, I mean, who before I continue on, who do you think is going to win the AFC South?
that was the point at the time, is who's it going to be? And no one's really stepped up. I think it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. Jeff Saturday's Indianapolis Colts are going to take the South. That might be the worst take I've had so far.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't know if you saw it or not. We have quite a bit of Chiefs stuff to talk about. So I left the NFL section of the show empty, which we've kind of done a couple of times. We kind of wanted to split the show, to not just appeal to Chiefs fans, but to appeal to NFL fans. So we kind of like leave the second half of the show to NFL. But we've got that one topic, and we'll talk about that one topic towards the end. But I want to talk about Juju Smith-Schuster. In the second quarter of the game, Juju took a humongous hit from Jaguars safety Andre Sisco. He was helped to the locker room after a scary, scary scene on the field. There's nothing that makes my skin crawl more than when I watch a player hit the ground and their body goes stiff. Like, my skin crawls when I see it on UFC, and I immediately I gasp. I'm like, oh my God, dude, oh shit. And then but to watch it on the football field is because those guys aren't out there hitting each other in the face and hitting each other in the head. As like UFC fighters are. So to watch a football player do it, it's scary. Like I said, it makes my skin crawl. But the other thing about that
dirty hit. I'm just gonna come out and say it. That was a dirty fucking hit, and Andre Sisco is a POS.
I don't know if I'd call it a dirty hit, but it definitely warranted a flag.
The fact that he came out and did it again to MVS, it is why I say that was intentional. He did that shit intentionally. And honestly, it really pisses me off, because what do we always say, right? We want consistency in calls from the referees. So then we turn around, and in the 49ers game, Greenlaw gets ejected for a hit that probably wasn't even his fault. And, the target area had changed, and he hit somebody in the head. Gets ejected. But we as Chiefs fans can't even get a fucking personal foul call. Sorry for the language, but they got me heated.
Yeah.
I
agree.
That was some bull loaning, bull hockey.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that a referee actually picked the flag up. There was a flag thrown, and they picked the flag up.
Yeah. I could not believe it.
So Juju is currently in the concussion protocol. He's going to miss Sunday night. I know you kind of giving your thoughts on it as well. Here's my thoughts on it. You're so worried about player safety, which is funny, because if you go back after those first couple of weeks with Tua, we had that baloney call on Chris Jones for roughing the passer. It was on Derek Carr, wasn't it? Yeah, it was on Derek Carr. Roughing the passer, and he had the fumble and whatnot. And you kind of brought that up and kind of segued exactly where I'm going, man. Consistency. So you're worried about player safety. You heightened up the security on, so to speak, on roughing the passer calls. But then, I'm watching players kneel their helmet down and hit guys, and it's not called. So I'm just confused. Like I said, consistency is key here. If and I get it. Nobody's perfect, especially in a situation like that. But when it's blatant like that, and
Oh yeah.
I know you're throwing the flag on other games and on other calls. It was a weird spot to me. And, I'm not one, I'm not going to stand on here and be like, oh my God, the refs were against the Chiefs. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as a whole, across the league, when you look at it, there is such a, like, holding, for example, you know, players and coaches and all kinds of people have always said there's holding on every single play. What gets called and what's not is discretion, what they can see, what you can get away with, etc. So I understand like some of that stuff, but when it's that blatant, when there's no gap, like then you've got to say, okay, you got to show me something here. There's got to be some sort of change or clarification on what we're doing as far as taking those penalties seriously, or calling those penalties when they should be called. Like you mentioned, the guy did it twice in the same game. Now, one of the things I will mention, last time Jaguars played in Arrowhead, they got real feisty. I don't know if you remember or not, but that was the game that Kelsey got kicked out of.
Uh-huh.
You remember that game?
Oh yeah.
So I find it very funny that the Jaguars were trying again to push Kelsey's buttons, to get him to. I kind of wondered if that was something that was discussed where they were like, "Hey, like we know we got Kelsey thrown out of the game last time, like
Yeah.
Now I'm not a
They were trying to
Jacksonville
take him out. They
Jaguars.
were trying to take people out for real.
Now I'm not a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if the Jaguars have played chippy all year this year. Like I said, I just found it fun. I was like, man, like I feel like they were doing this shit last time they were at Arrowhead. But yeah, man, I it sucks we're not going to have Juju. Obviously it's not a huge massive blow, but you're going against a division rival, primetime game in, I guess you can say, their house.
Arrowhead West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've now
We've
wait a
never
second.
lost.
I thought
We've never lost at Arrowhead West.
yes.
That's
Well,
SoFi.
is SoFi Arrowhead West or is
SoFi. That's what I would consider Arrowhead West
gotcha,
for this
gotcha.
week.
Yeah. Now, so what is Vegas in? Arrowhead South?
No, that's Arrowhead West. Just different weeks.
So the Germany billboard, man. I saw you had this in the lineup, man, and I was kind of curious about it. So I kind of looked this up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought it was super, super interesting that we haven't played over in Germany yet. But they've already got these billboards, like on the way to the airport, on the way to the game. They got billboards and it says, "Hey, coming soon, Kansas City Chiefs." And then you go and you look at it at different like sales and different figures out there. And Kansas City is one of the biggest fandoms over there in Germany. It's Kansas City, and then it's the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's Patrick Mahomes, and then it's Tom Brady. And so I just thought, I heard this come up on the radio, and I just thought to myself, I said, damn, they are really doing a phenomenal job advertising, the marketing department and everything is doing a phenomenal job trying to get Kansas City to be a worldwide brand.
Well, and it was funny because when I saw this on the lineup, I went and I was looking at it, and there is a very big, not rumor, but there's a lot of talk around the league that the Chiefs are going to be the Germany game next year in the 2023-2024 season. So, but that's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a big fandom of Chiefs fans in Germany.
Yeah. I didn't know. I wouldn't have even thought about it until just recently. And of course, we had the game over in Munich, and that kind of sparked the thought and whatnot. But yeah, it just happened to come up. I was listening to the 610 Sports Radio, and it happened to come up as a subject there. And I said, well, we got to talk about it on our show, because that was just super, super interesting to me that, that we're already marketing. We're marketing out there in Germany. So, and hey, Chiefs Kingdom is worldwide. We don't have to limit ourselves here to Kansas City. We'll go coast to coast and all the way across the globe. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So speaking of going across the globe and whatnot, so I don't know what going across the globe has to segue into this, but
That's a good try.
as of this week, according to AP and a lot of other sports media outlets, if you will, Patrick Mahomes is becoming arguably the clear MVP at this moment.
MV Pat, MV Pat,
That's
MV
right.
Pat, MV Pat.
So
That's right.
Patrick has one MVP season, and that was his inaugural season, and we'll call it his rookie season because his rookie season he sat out. He started one game his rookie season, but that was the 2017 season. The 2018 season is where he started. He started all games and took the Chiefs to the AFC Championship and were one handprint away from going to the Super Bowl that year. And Pat won the MVP that year. So be kind of interesting to see how that plays out for Pat. But here's what's crazy. Crazy stat to me. They mentioned that Mahomes takes the number one spot for most touchdowns in the first 75 games, and it's only been 72 games. So Mahomes leads the way with 176 touchdowns in his first 176 games, or I mean his first 75 games. He has 176 touchdowns. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
What do you think, man? I mean, you're obviously not going to get much argument out of me, but to play devil's advocate, do you think Patrick Mahomes is a clear MVP right now?
Well, and I don't want to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes, but this is a different league than what it used to be. This is a pass-heavy league, and so okay, he got 176 touchdowns in his first 72 games, and that's great. That's phenomenal, and we're going to continue to see him break records like that a lot. We've already seen it a lot. It's going to continue to happen. But this is a different league. This is a pass-happy league. Even with that being said, who impacts their team more than Patrick Mahomes? Who has taken a bunch of misfit wide receivers that no one thought was going to be worth a damn and has turned them into this high-flying, efficient offense? No one's done that besides Patrick Mahomes. And when everyone hated on him and hated on Kansas City, it was like, oh, well, you guys ain't going to be nothing without Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes turned this team into what it is. And I don't want to take anything away from the guys that are making the plays, the MVSs, the Juju Smith-Schusters, these guys. But we all know that great quarterbacks, excuse me, that elite quarterbacks will elevate the play of the players around them. And that's exactly what we've seen this year. And I don't think that you can look at, Derrick Henry, which is always in the contention for MVP. But who's it going to be besides Pat? I don't see anyone else. I think I am in agreement that Pat is the clear front runner when it comes to MVP, and I don't even think it's close right now.
Yeah, if you'd asked me a couple weeks ago, I mean, it would have been a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Josh Allen. I would have said Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen. Maybe that's controversial to some people. I don't think it is. I think Lamar Jackson is carrying the Ravens offense, and their defense is letting them down. Although their defense is starting to show a little bit of good sparks. But earlier in the season, I thought it was Mahomes, Lamar, then maybe Josh Allen. Now that the Bills are sliding a little bit, I think it pulls away from Josh Allen. Here was a fantastic idea. For those that don't know, one of my main guys over at Sports Empire Network, Raw Mind Sports, Ryan Jones Sr. Shout out to Ryan Jones. He had me on his podcast one night, and I met a guy. His name was the Real TV. It's not 1999 anymore podcast, and then he invited me on, and we did. I'll put that in the comments so you guys can go check that out. Real TV. It's not 1999 anymore podcast. Shout out to those guys. But no, my guy Real over there, he had us compile a list of 3 MVP candidates. And it was funny because like him and I were like on the same tune, but I didn't have him. He had this individual at number 1. I had this individual at number 3 because obviously I had Pat at number 1, right?
Right.
But the individual that we were like-minded was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Now,
and I can see that, but it's so hard for a non-quarterback
exactly
to win.
Exactly. So the MVP really should just be the now. I think it's only happened once or twice. The MVP hasn't been a quarterback, right?
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't.
Didn't AP win? Didn't AP win MVP one year?
Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it hasn't happened. I can count it on one hand how many times it's happened.
Yeah.
But
Jacob said,
I couldn't tell you that. Wonder if Ronald Jones is going to stay with the Chiefs or not. I don't think Ronald Jones has much of a choice, brother.
Well,
I mean, after this year,
I'm a huge proponent of, like if they don't want to be here, like don't keep them here. But so after this season, I don't think Ronald Jones will be, but I also don't think that I don't think the Chiefs are willing to give up or to just let go of Ronald Jones. So I think that they would trade him away. I think there's a reason why he's still on the 53-man roster. I think that there's a reason why he didn't make it to the practice squad. There is so much talent at the running back position, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, and we can get into that some other time. But the running back position is so crowded that Ronald Jones could be a backup, maybe even a starter on some people's teams. You look at some garbage ass teams like the Houston Texans, and I could totally see Ronald Jones being a starting running back for that team. He could go back to Tampa Bay and be a backup or split carries with Leonard Fournette. But like I said, I think that there's a reason why the Chiefs didn't put him on the practice squad and haven't released him. Is because there is value there, and they're not going to throw that value away. They're not going to throw that money away. It sucks for Ronald Jones because, like I said, he's just in a very crowded position on this team. And yeah, like I said, it's unfortunate, but I could see the Chiefs letting him go at the end of the season, but not now, and not take the chance of somebody picking him up. So, so we talked about the Patrick Mahomes thing. Speaking of claiming players from different teams, that was a great segue, Jacob. I appreciate you doing that for us. Kyle says AP won in 2013, so AP did win. And then he said Dameon Pierce starts in Houston. Yeah, I think Ronald Jones can start over Dameon Pierce or split carries with him. Who knows? But the Chargers waived their former 2019 first round pick, Jerry Tillery. And but since he didn't officially hit the waiver wire until Friday, and the Chiefs were too high on that list, or too far back on that list, NFL teams had until Monday to think about placing a claim. He actually wound up with the Raiders. But what do you think about that, man? Do you think that Jerry Tillery could have came in and made an impact on that defensive line?
Who? I mean, probably. I say that joking around, but I had to go look the guy up, and was like, who is this that is on my rundown right now? And so I don't really have much of an opinion about it. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with our defensive line as of recently. So, I mean, he would have been a great rotational piece, but I don't know who you give up, whose playing time are you giving up to bring him in here?
I'm so glad you said it, man, because I agree. I didn't really think it was. I mean, I obviously like the pass rush, like the talent is there, and we'd like to see it get better. Obviously, against Jacksonville, it looked really good, but Jacksonville think that they've got a top tier offensive line to brag about, to go, oh yeah, like the defense did a great job in that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from it. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are still an NFL team, and it's hard as hell to win games in the NFL, and it's even more hard to impose your will on 6'7", 6'8", 300 plus pound man to go sack the quarterback. Like, I get it. But I when I saw that the Chiefs were one of the teams that made a claim, I was like, after watching Colin Saunders run down the field to chase a running back, I mean, run 10 to 12 yards down the field, like, dude, I mean, like I said, to bring him in as a rotational guy, cool. But, I mean, I wouldn't want him to start over Colin Saunders after watching Colin Saunders bust his ass and and eat some sacks. Obviously not over Chris Jones. So yeah, man, like I'm kind of glad we're in agreement on that. And when I first put it on there, I figured you were going to have the Jerry Tillery, the rap sheet lined up, going, hey, this guy's good for this many tackles and this many sacks, and this was a huge miss. And yeah, I'm glad, brother.
Yeah, no, I definitely had to look him up.
This kind of goes hand in hand, and I'm kind of mad I didn't kind of combine these together. We talked about Patrick Mahomes becoming arguably the clear MVP at this moment, but also the AP NFL rankings, the Associated Press NFL Power rankings came out, and there's quite a few power rankings that have come out that have the Chiefs at number one now. But the Associated Press has KC number one, Philly number two, Miami number three, 4, 5 Buffalo, 6 Baltimore. What do you think about that list, man?
I think it's about right.
What's up, Hunter?
Kansas City, I think, is the clear-cut number one. And that's hard. That's really hard for a lot of people to come to grips with. Me, it's easy because I'm a Chiefs fan. A lot of people are still going to say that the Eagles are number one, but I look at the Eagles' schedule and I'm like, well, who have they played? And their schedule, their strength of schedule just isn't up there. So from looking at it from almost like a college perspective, you look at strength of schedule and margin of victory, and I think it's the Chiefs at number one, Eagles at number two, and the Bills at number three. And then I don't remember what you said exactly. Was the next? Let's see. It's Miami at number three, Minnesota at number four. See, I would put the Bills at number three. And I just don't believe in Miami yet. Miami just hasn't. I don't know. The quarterback play is good. It's just not. I'd like to see more of it before I'm convinced, right? Because it's all about consistency. We've seen Josh Allen be good for years now. So I would put Buffalo at number three and Miami at number four, Minnesota at number five, and that's, it could go several different ways after that. But that'd be my top five would be KC, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Minnesota.
Yeah, but one thing to remember is that these are weekly power rankings. So, it's going to go based off of, the past week and obviously the season. With Minnesota and that crazy overtime game with Buffalo, I'm okay with Minnesota being over Buffalo. Maybe I'm going to garner some heat from this, but as a Chiefs fan, I still don't think Philly should be number two. They lost.
They're lower than that.
They lost one game against a division rival in a primetime game. Everybody knows how hard those are. It's already hard enough to win games in the National Football League, but you get in there with a division rival on a primetime game, and it gets really hard. Plus, the fact of the asinine argument about they lost a game. Of course they're going to lose a game. Of course they're not going to go. Of course they're not going to go undefeated. One team in the 100-year history of the NFL has gone undefeated, and that was almost 50 years ago. And it was almost 50 years ago, and they've added more games to the schedule since then. So, it's goofy to knock the Philadelphia Eagles because they lost one game. Jalen Hurts is still arguably up there with Patrick Mahomes as an MVP candidate. Jalen Hurts for the, I didn't watch the game last night. But prior to that, Jalen Hurts has done a phenomenal job of, making plays when there wasn't options, keeping the drives alive, doing stuff that an MVP quarterback should be doing. And, like I said, if we could do a tie, I would put KC and Philly. Obviously we can't. I just don't think based on, based on one loss to a division rival at their house garners Philadelphia losing their number one spot. I find that a little odd, but that's okay. I mean, I'm still cool with Kansas City at number one, but like I said, if it was me, I would swap. I would put KC at 2 because KC was at 3, so I would put them back. I would put them at 2. I would leave Philly at 1, and I would put Minnesota, Miami, then Buffalo. So that's
You think
how
Minnesota's that good, huh?
Huh?
You think Minnesota's that good, huh?
Absolutely. I think they're good. I think they got a great defense. I think Justin Jefferson is arguably one of if not the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I think they just damn near won the Powerball in that last game in order to win it.
Hey, let me tell you something. I saw a meme, and it might have been Chiefs Kingdom memes, which is a fantastic Facebook page. If you're a Chiefs fan and you don't follow Chiefs Kingdom memes, you should. If you have a sensitive butt though, you definitely shouldn't follow it.
Oh yeah, especially Farzine. Farzine will let you have it.
Yeah. But no, Chiefs Kingdom memes posted it. It might have been them. It might have been somebody else. But it said after the Minnesota game, Bills fans are now clamoring for the NFL to change the overtime rules back to what they were.
Yeah, because Josh Allen can't win in overtime.
And like I said, that game kind of solidified it for me to be like, okay, hey, I'm sorry, but I think I just lost James. I think he told me his laptop was dying, but he was going to switch over to his phone. Oh, nope, he's still here. Never mind. But yeah, man, that game and watching Josh Allen do that and blow that kind of solidified it for me about the Bills and pulling Josh Allen farther away from Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs as far as that goes. Just in case anybody was wondering, I am not wearing a Las Vegas Raiders shirt. I'm actually wearing this Chiefs shirt that I got from an NFL store in Las Vegas. So, yeah, definitely dig that. So, Dravenverse says that's right, boy. So I'm gonna let James mentioned he was, he private messaged me, told me that his laptop was about to die. When it does die, he was gonna switch over to his phone. When he gets switched over to his phone, we're gonna talk about the Chiefs and the Chargers game, Sunday Night Football this week. And we're gonna talk about that matchup. We're going to talk about keys to victory for the Chiefs. And we're going to talk about a little bit of stats in this game. So, yeah. Give me just one moment here, guys. Boom. There we go. There he is. There you go.
It went.
All right.
That laptop, it went out.
Yep. That's all right, though. So let's preview this Chiefs and Chargers games, brother, and then let's close this baby out.
Hell yeah. So Chargers are coming into this game incredibly banged up. Don't let that fool you though, because this is a desperate team. Right? Kansas City is up several games now. I think they're up 2 games at the moment. And the Chargers, who we all kind of thought was going to be a race for the AFC West between Kansas City and the Chargers. The Chargers are now starting to fall behind, and they're desperate. They need a win. They need a win bad. They haven't gotten a win against Kansas City at SoFi since SoFi is opened.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to change that narrative. They're probably tired of hearing it. And they're going to come out and 100% going to be a feisty group this Sunday.
Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, this is going to be a huge, huge divisional game. Let me see here. Yeah, they try not to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. What a disappointment that would be if the great Justin Herbert ended up missing the playoffs for the second year in a row.
Yeah, which is crazy because preseason, everybody had Justin Herbert, uh, Joe, um, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes all in the same conversation. Like, I mean, everybody was talking about how great the AFC was looking with those four young quarterbacks. And now, like, obviously, like Joe Burrow, I'm not going to knock on Joe Burrow. I think obviously they have a lot of offensive line issues over there. When a guy gets hit that many times, obviously, like I don't think it's all Joe Burrow, but I mean, I still think Josh Allen is an elite quarterback in the AFC, but you're watching Herbert like fall back so much, and there's a lot of things that can kind of play into that. Obviously, they've had some injuries. Um, Brandon Staley. I don't think Brandon Staley is I don't think he's going to be there much longer as head coach. I don't know if I'd say he's on the hot seat, but you go back to last year and you look at that game, them and the Raiders, and they're literally like, and we've beat this dead horse probably 100 times, but you look at that game last year, and we're actually sitting here talking about, oh, these teams could tie and they both could make it into the playoffs. Like, and then you lose to a team that shouldn't have been there, and you let them go in, and it was a disaster. But this game Sunday, was flexed to Sunday Night Football. I don't know if that should have been the case. Because like I said, the Chargers aren't looking like a playoff team, which is nuts because at the beginning of the year in the preseason, we talked about I made a bold prediction that there could be 3 AFC West teams that make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't look like that's going to happen, guy. I mean, there's still
No.
quite a bit of football left, but I mean, the Chiefs could be the clear-cut team in the AFC West to make the playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah, AFC East is a different story.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, no one really saw that.
And that's what's crazy is nobody saw that because in the preseason we talked about the AFC East, and I thought it was I mean I think we said Miami because Tyreek going there, but didn't think that it would be the situation that it is, but yeah, the Chiefs the Chargers haven't beat the Chiefs in SoFi Stadium. So obviously the Chiefs are going to be favored by Vegas. They're favored by 5.5 points. The Chargers are 5-4, man. So they win this. I mean, they're still at 500 at 5-5, but like I said, just because you're 500 doesn't mean you're going to make the playoffs. So,
yeah. But if and that's what I was saying is if they want any hope to making the playoffs, it starts this week.
Yeah.
They have to beat Kansas City if they want it. And so they're going to come in desperate. I don't know if it's going to be the same level of desperate as what the Jaguars were, to where they're doing onside kicks to start the game. I'm not sure it's going to be that level. But they're going to come out here. They're going to give us their best shot. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Now, as far as injuries go, the last I heard yesterday was that Mike Williams and Keenan Allen could potentially play in this game. It's still unknown and it's still up in the air. Now, that would be great for the Chargers to get both of those weapons back. So that would help put a little bit more confidence on them. But dude, if neither one of those guys play, this could get ugly really,
Yeah.
really, really fast.
And on the flip, I went on record after the Chargers game, and I thought that the Chargers would have won that first game if Keenan Allen would have played.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge, huge gain. If he can play this week for the Chargers, that's a huge gain for them. And, we're going to have – Kansas City has had troubles guarding that number one wide receiver. Mike Williams has historically just pounded the Chiefs.
Yep.
And if we have both of those threats to worry about, that could spell a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. And Keenan Allen is extremely talented, but make no mistake about it. Keenan Allen is a first-class grade A bitch. He's been a bitch. He's been a bitch. He'll always be a bitch. He's a bald-headed, biscuit-eating bitch. Nothing against bald people, James. But when you're Keenan Allen and you look like a milk dud, you're a bitch. So, I cannot stand Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was the dude that said that some people would get exposed when Tyreek Hill got traded. I don't know who he was talking about, but I know he wasn't talking about my quarterback because I don't know if you know or not, but Patty's up for an MVP, and your quarterback is sucking the teat. So. Yeah. Suck on that, bitch. Keys to victory, my friend. What do the Chiefs got to do to win this game Sunday night?
Just stay true. Stay true to your identity. We're not going to see we kind of talked about it on the halftime huddle, right? If you guys don't know, we do the halftime show for Starcade Media called the Halftime Huddle during halftime of every Chiefs game. Come check it out. But it's kind of like we say on there, babe. We got to run the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to run the ball. I don't know if that's true this time, man. To me, I don't want to say we got to run the ball because that's just not Kansas City's identity.
Absolutely.
And we have to – Kansas City has to stay true to their identity. That doesn't mean go out and throw the ball 68 times. But, a nice balanced attack, 2/3 pass, 1/3 run will get the job done. And then defensively, it starts with the pass rush. The defensive line has to continue the dominance that they've had over the past 3 weeks. Carlos Dunlop has really emerged since Frank Clark has been out. And so I love to see that. Colin Saunders, Chris Jones, Sack Nation, the whole group of them have really stepped up. And so that's got to continue. We have to get Justin Herbert off of his spot and get that internal clock rushed a little bit.
Yep.
Agreed. That's it for me.
My keys to victory are, like I said, I said in the halftime huddle, running the ball and all that other stuff. And I said, but the Chiefs just needed to pull away. It's the same thing here, man. It's November. It's after the bye. It's November football. We're getting into December. Dude, we're already halfway through November already. By the time we play this game on Sunday, we're going to be on the back end of November. So it's getting to serious football at this point. And when we get to serious football, Patrick Mahomes shines. This is where Pat makes plays. This is where Mahomes magic you've got the magic of the Christmas season, and then you've got Patrick or Mahomes magic at Arrowhead. and it's a great recipe. So I'm not looking for them to run the ball and do all that stuff. What I'm looking for is just go out and make plays. Go out, run some, open up this playbook now, and let's solidify the spot as the number one in the AFC. Open up the playbook, let Patrick Mahomes make plays, let your guys go out there, get in the middle of the field, let Travis Kelce embarrass some people, and do phenomenal touchdown dances like Travis Kelce can. As far as the defense goes, on the defense, the key to victory is don't give up the big play.
That's right.
Let the Chargers nickel and dime us. That's fine because they can't keep up with the offense. That's just how it is. They cannot keep up with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Kadarius Toney, no Juju Smith, but I mean MVS, all these guys, Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams, all these guys that the Chiefs have at their disposal. For all these weapons that the Chiefs have for Patrick Mahomes. Let Patrick do that, and the defense, like I said, don't give up the big play. Final score predictions, my friend.
Oh, let's go 31-17 Kansas City.
Okay. I like it. 35-20. Okay. I like that. It's a division game. It's in SoFi Stadium. Granted, the Chiefs have never lost. Granted, all that good stuff. The stat that clears my mind is the Chiefs putting up at least 30 when they're not at home, which is nuts because we all love Arrowhead and Arrowhead and the crazy, atmosphere that Arrowhead is. But for the fact that the Chiefs put up at least 30 points when they're not at home, I'm going 33-17 Kansas City. I think the first half, maybe the first three quarters, the Chargers try and keep it close, and they're on Kansas City's tail. But then I think that they pull away. So Donnie says 35-20. Jacob says 38-20. Lennon says, "Hey guys, appreciate you joining, Lennon." Yeah, man, that's my final score prediction. Oh, Lennon getting on the action. Lennon says 36-17 Chiefs.
Yeah, we got a lot of 17s. Yep. I said 31-17. You said 33-17.
Yep.
Yeah, he said 36.
Always I like 30 it. On the road. I don't hate it, man. So I think that'll do it for our Chiefs coverage, our Kansas City Chiefs coverage here at Arrowhead Asylum. But I wanted to talk about this. Like I said, we're sitting a little over an hour. I know we kind of let the game footage play. So I mean, we really aren't at an hour, maybe right at an hour of showtime. But I wanted to do this before we close out the show. I want to talk. You mentioned the Jeff Saturday thing.
Hey,
and
yes, sir.
Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about all the guys. Now, obviously, it's the middle of the season. Frank Wright was let go in the middle of the season. Obviously, they can't interview guys like Brian Flores, Eric Bieniemy in the middle of the season. But you've got Reggie Wayne on your staff and all these other guys on your staff. You reach out to a guy who was doing analyst for ESPN to come be your head coach, a guy who has no head coaching experience at the collegiate or professional level, other than, he's coaching high school football. By the way, his high school football team is like a 3 or 4 win team. Like it's bad. It's not anything. But with all that being said, he beat the Raiders.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting, and I'm going to call it now, but Jeff Saturday is going to hire Peyton Manning as their QB coach. What do you think?
I don't think that. I think I could see Peyton coming in to be like a player personnel almost. I don't know if I see him coming in to be like an assistant coach or a defensive coordinator or something like that. I can see him taking up a role like John Elway took at I think it. I think I could see him taking up a role like John Elway took with the Denver Broncos. But I couldn't see Peyton on the sideline. Taking being under somebody as a head coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an assistant coach. You know what I mean? I couldn't see somebody being like the head coach, and then Peyton Manning being like a quarterback's coach or a defense, an offensive coordinator or something like that. I feel like Peyton would want to come in a higher position than that. Not wear hoodies and gear when it's 20 degrees outside. Peyton likes wearing a suit, and I think Peyton belongs in the skybox watching the game. So, like I said, I could see him as not a GM role, but like a personnel role, like John Elway was. But we've talked about the Chargers, and I want to talk about the Raiders. Have you ever seen a team in such flux?
I heard a theory that Josh McDaniels is out there. Like, I heard a theory that they hate Carr. They hate Derek Carr, and that they're tanking this year so they can get rid of Derek Carr. Like, he's tanking the entire year so they can get rid of him.
Really?
Now, I don't know. That's like a borderline conspiracy theory,
Yeah, because in order for that theory to work, you'd have to Derek Carr would have to be in on it because he's played like dog shit.
Well, he knows. That's why he's crying at the podium. He knows his time is coming, or his time is damn near up.
So here's my thing. A couple of things. I meant it when I said it at the beginning of the year that Devontae Adams was not an elite wide receiver. I still believe it. I think that Josh McDaniels has no business as a head coach, and I think that Mark Davis doesn't care about Raiders fans. Hence, why he moved the team from Oakland, Los Angeles area to Vegas. Now Raiders faithful travel very well. And the Raiders fans are kind of all over the country. They're kind of like Cowboys fans. They're like Cowboys and Raiders fans are like roaches. Where there's one, there's 10,000. And they're always hiding somewhere. They never come out of hiding until they smell the sugar. When they smell the sugar, that's when all the roaches come out. And that's when you'll see the Cowboys and the Raiders fans come out. Donnie says, yo. Is Donnie a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan.
I didn't know. My bad. But like I said, but still you had so much the black hole. Like, the black hole is not what it used to be. I mean, because like I said, they're not in the Oakland, Los Angeles area anymore, where the Raiders won Super Bowls and the Raiders were flourished and grew and were well known as an organization for 60 plus years. Now they're in Vegas. Like I said, I don't think Mark Davis cares about this team as much as he likes to lead on. Like I said, I think the Josh McDaniels hire was a prime example of that. He went out and got a big name coach on the free agency, not a coach that I think would have fit the team well or worked well with the team. New England coaches have shown us that Bill Belichick coaches have shown us that unless you were at the collegiate level, you cannot be a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, we've seen it. Well, the only exception to that is, and it really wasn't a coach beforehand, but Mike Vrabel was a player for Belichick. And I'd say that he's done pretty good as a head coach over there at Tennessee.
He has. He was
you look at
wasn't he the defensive coordinator he was the linebackers coach, or was he with Houston? That was Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Bill O'Brien, Eric Mangini, Romeo Crennel, all good coordinators, terrible head coaches.
Yeah,
and
Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels and yeah, we've seen it over and over again. So yeah, you're 100% right on that statement. But
so
that would be the only
exception. The Raiders are the biggest joke in the NFL. We agree.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, we see all the Raiders fans before the season and Chiefs aren't going to be nothing without Tyreek, but they all silent now.
Yeah.
They all silent. There ain't no sugar out there.
We went and got Devontae Adams, man. Now the team's going to now our offense is going to be able to keep up with the Chiefs.
Yeah. Oh. What happened?
Which way did he go? All right. Yeah. Now that's for real going to do it for the show, guys. We're going to close out. We're going to plug some partnerships. The first thing I want to talk about is Sports Empire Network. Sports Empire Network is growing. We're expanding. We're if you're worried about where to get your breaking news, definitely check out Sports Empire Network. We got it for you all the time. As far as content goes, yours truly, this show, Arrowhead Asylum, is on Sports Empire Network. You got other great shows, exclusive shows to Sports Empire Network, not just content shows or content creator shows like what me and James have brought to Sports Empire Network, but they've got the And One podcast show. Fantastic show. On Friday nights, they talk about basketball. Saturday, they got the big dogs on campus. They talk about college football on there. Phenomenal show. Yours truly hosts the Sunday morning drive. We break down the NFL games for Sunday, do predictions on Sunday morning. Like I said, just a lot of great content. Articles. My friend Lennon that was just in here, he proofreads all the articles, edits them, and then posts them to the site. And we've got a lot of great guys that are doing articles for Sports Empire Network. So like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you're following Sports Empire Network on all forms of social media. Media, CR Media. Friend Josh just put in there. He put in my link there. He also put the Discord in there. If you haven't joined the Discord already, make sure you do so, man. We're the community in there, and we're trying to just kind of build an area for us to hang out when we're not doing this. When we're not on this. What kind of show?
Legendary podcast. Sorry, right. I had to get into that one.
Yeah. When we're not on here, we're hanging out in the Discord, and we'd love for you as well. So make sure you check out that link that my friend Josh just put in the chat. But if you're a professional wrestling fan, I know this show is mainly about the Kansas City Chiefs and about the NFL. But if you're a professional wrestling fan, check out CR Media's other content. We're doing independent wrestling shows. We also do AEW Dynamite, and then every once every while when I can, we'll do a watch along with the WWE pay-per-view or premium live event. You can catch that on Sports Empire Network or on my page. but lots of professional wrestling content. So if that's something you're into, definitely check that out. Speaking of that's something you're into, you may be into showing your car some love. Because
That's right.
if you're like me, your car could use a lot of love. And when my car could use some love, I took it to my good friend James over here. James has a side hustle, his own business, an entrepreneurship, if you will, that he does called For the Love of My Car. Where James, if you are in the Kansas City metro area, which hopefully you are, if you're watching this show, my friend James has fantastic equipment and fantastic cleaning products that he uses to show your car some love, get it all clean, get it fresh, get it smelling nice, especially if you got date night or if you just want to show your car some love. But James, why don't you tell everybody where they can check that out?
Yeah, for sure. So if you go to Facebook at My Car Needs Love, you can find For the Love of My Car. And look, guys, it's winter time. It's snowing outside. No one wants to get out in that stuff, but I will. I will. I'll get out there. I'll show your car some love. And, I know not everyone has time to do it. Not everyone wants to. And my fucking phone just died.
No, it didn't. Oh, yeah, it did. And my phone just died. I was like, no, it didn't. Yes, it did. He gone. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out For the Love of My Car on Facebook. If you are in the Kansas City area, make sure you check out James and what he's doing over there. The last thing on my list, or one of the last things on my list, is the halftime show, the halftime huddle on Starcade Media. James and I do the 15-minute halftime show for Starcade Media for the Chiefs games. We will be live at halftime during the Chiefs and Chargers games this Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned to Starcade Media. Go show them some love, and then check us out on there as well. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it. We went a little over an hour and a half this week. Had a lot of great topics to talk about. I appreciate everybody tuning in, checking it out, staying with us. Everybody on the Twitch side, everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Sports Empire Network. So what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to end the stream for the other places, but we're going to raid out because I've had trouble reminding myself to do that. But it looks like we've got 3 viewers on Twitch right now, and that's okay. We're going to send 3 of you guys somewhere to watch a Twitch streamer to kind of show them some love. Because for those that don't know, my Twitch needed some love, and we got some from some fellow streamers. So I want to pay that forward, pay it back, if you will, and give it back. So for my co-host James Howe, Arrowhead Asylum, for myself Chase, aka CR Media, this has been another episode of the Arrowhead Asylum. Go Chiefs, baby.